G'day and welcome to our next virtual session. What trades are out there? Find the best ones suited to you. My name is Peter Truella and I'm the Industry Consultant for the Skills and Jobs Centre at Bendigo TAFE. Joining me this evening are Matt Haig, our Education Manager in the Trades area, and Vince Murder, who's our Schools Liaison Officer. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to run through a little bit of what we call netiquette for this webinar. Firstly, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions throughout the webinar, and you're invited to type your questions in using the Q&A button that you should see at the bottom of your screen now. We'll attempt to answer your questions throughout the webinar, but if not, we'll address them after the session. And a reminder just to please be respectful to the audience and speakers in your comments and use of language on this forum, and I'm sure you all will be. Okay, so for anyone considering a career in trades, the usual suspects are carpentry, electrical and plumbing. Although they are great trades if you can get an apprenticeship, what do you do if you keep missing out on these popular trades? Well, there are lots of other great trades offering apprenticeships in the building and construction industry, as well as a number of traineeships to choose from. Firstly, you might want to consider applying for a pre-apprenticeship course in the trades and ask about the free TAFE initiative to help cover your tuition costs. These courses can help you get more work ready and also partly qualified in a trade. And now many employers recruit apprentices and trainees from these classes, so that's a huge bonus as well. And remember, you don't need to be employed with a tradie to commence these courses, but having some work experience or holiday work will help you better apply your learning. Pre-apprenticeship course can also help you decide if you like a particular trade or not, without committing to a longer term apprenticeship. What is free TAFE, you say? Well, it basically means the state government will cover the cost of your tuition for your chosen course, and that comes off a priority list. And most of those pre-apprenticeship courses are on there. And most of the courses can be completed in about 16 to 20 weeks. So how does an apprenticeship work? Some of you may know this, but many people don't. So we'll just go through some of the basics. It means you get paid to learn a Certificate 3 trade qualification on the job with an employer and undertake your studies at TAFE. Successfully completing an apprenticeship in Victoria takes about 3 to 4 years, depending on the qualification you undertake. And it also depends whether you complete a pre-apprenticeship course or not. The qualifications are generally made up of different units of competency that you'll study. Now, a traineeship is a qualification that is it's in a non-traditional trade area. A traineeship will usually take you between 1 to 2 years, depending on the level of the qualification. And these can range from Certificate 2 right through to an advanced diploma level studies. Again, it means you're employed and earning money whilst you study at TAFE. Now, just one important note as we go through the slides on each of these other trades, this information has been gathered from the Australian Government website, Job Outlook. So please keep in mind that the average wage earnings that are listed in the presentations are based on you being trade qualified and also probably dependent on your skills and the types of projects you're working on, such as large industrial or commercial projects. However, you can still earn a very good wage once you're qualified, and you may be working on domestic housing or just small commercial projects. So wage rates for awards and EBAs can be checked with the Australian Government's Fair Work Ombudsman's Office. And you can find out more information off us if you need that for those sort of things. Vince is now going to outline a couple of our lesser loved trades, but nevertheless, they still offer good employment opportunities and really good wages once you're qualified and have the skills.
That's right, Peter. Let's take a look at a couple of skilled trades which are available in the region and see how you can access these at Bendigo TAFE. So let's start with bricklaying and concreting. What these two job roles both have in common is that they help lay the foundations of buildings and other structures upon which other elements of the build rely on. So if you're fit and active and like to see daily progress in your job, then one of these trades could be for you. Jobs including entry-level positions as an apprentice bricklayer or trainee concreter are generally available in both industries within the Bendigo region, and demand is expected to be good due to the number of new builds currently planned and because we have an ageing workforce. Both of these trades are labour intensive and you will be mainly working outdoors. So if you think this will be the sort of thing that you'd like to do, then why don't you find out more about them? Bricklaying is an apprenticeship in Victoria and it takes approximately 3 to 4 years to complete for a new worker in the industry. Concreting is a traineeship and it will take between 18 to 24 months to complete this qualification, depending on your industry and the experience. Engineering is a great trade for the problem solvers. Whether you choose to specialise in mechanical or electrical engineering, local demand for applicants who have an aptitude for engineering, particularly in fabrication and welding, is very good, but the other qualifications are highly sought after by many employers. So work opportunities are expected to be there given the number of infrastructure builds commencing in the next few years or underway now across Victoria and understate. At Bendigo TAFE, we've been able to partner with the government to deliver a course in fusion welding. This is a brand new course for anyone that is open to anyone, no matter what your skills are in welding. And if you'd like to broaden your skills and opportunities, then a course in fusion welding for the national standard could be for you. The National Welding Standard is in demand for major manufacturing and engineering projects, such as rail, light rail, and tram production, as well as for shipbuilding, aircraft manufacturing, and Defence Force contracts. No welding experience is necessary, just some experience with hand tools and power tools. So this is a great opportunity to get certified and job ready. So let's take a look at a couple of our other popular engineering trade courses that we offer at our Charleston Road campus. Certificate 3 in Fabrication Trade Welding and Certificate 3 in Mechanical Trade Fitting and Machining. Both of these courses are offered as apprenticeships, so you'll need to be employed with an employer first and attend Bendigo TAFE for the course delivery. If you are a new worker in the industry, then either qualification will usually take between 3 to 4 years to successfully complete to gain your trade certificate. For the Certificate 3 in Engineering Fabrication Trade, this is a trade to learn great welding techniques. This qualification is in demand locally from our local manufacturing sector, and many employers offer a variety of work, so you're not always in the factory or a workshop. You might even help design, fabricate, build, and erect an engineered product out on site. For the Certificate 3 in Engineering, Mechanical Trade is a trade to go to if you want to use your mechanical skills more with a variety of workshop machines, including gear with computer technology, or you could be fitting machine engineering parts to machinery and equipment, including out in the field, off site, and you also do a bit of welding and soldering and a bit of cutting in the metal trades as well. Matt will now discuss some of the interesting other trades offered at Bendigo TAFE.
Thanks, Vince. So the first qualification I'm going to talk about is painting and decorating. Painting and decorating is a great trade for people with an eye for detail and enjoy seeing what they've achieved at the end of each day. You need to have the ability to climb ladders and scaffolding. At times you'll need to work at heights. A lot of the work in painting is in the preparation of surfaces and applying paint to indoor and outdoor settings. This is one of the industry's finishing trades, so your work will always be noticed. There's plenty of varieties in the jobs and lots of specialised areas. You'll need to learn things such as restoration painting, colour matching and wallpapering. The next one, another finishing trade, is wall and floor tiling. Wall and floor tile layers are lay a variety of tiles on external and internal walls and floors to provide protective coatings and decorative finishes. They use chemical bonding compounds, finishing materials, and also they waterproof wet areas. It's another finishing trade which requires a good eye for detail and a bit of design flair. So these are great skills to have for this trade. Tiling can involve a lot of kneeling and crouching, so it will require a level of fitness, but all our trades do. You'd normally work in a job site in and around other trades like plumbers, plasterers, and painters and decorators. Some other trades that we talk about in the finishing trades are also some of our landscape trades. So landscaping is for someone who loves the outdoors and spending time around parks and gardens. Perhaps you've got an interest in creating gardens and landscapes. Landscape gardeners working as one of Australia's fastest growing sectors and is closely linked to the housing commercial building boom. The rewarding career path here involves some of these: constructing gardens and open spaces, rolling out turf, building retaining walls, installing drainage, laying paved with stones, gravel or bricks. You may also be involved in things such as construction of pergolas, water features and other garden structures. In the horticultural trades, this is for someone who loves working with plants, and a dream job would be involved in working with nature and being outside. Our horticulture and agriculture courses will provide you with the necessary knowledge and skills to build a successful career in horticulture, parks and gardens, sports turf management, and in the modern agriculture industry. Horticulture jobs are mainly hands-on jobs with a bit of office work, so this makes this profession perfect for those who want to have a balance between physical and mental demands of their workday. Some of the things you might be working on could be public and private gardens, in natural environments and in urban areas. Sometimes you may even work on farms and orchards. You may be an apprentice or a trainee in horticulture, but there's also plenty of other rewarding jobs available to you in the industry. You can also undertake the horticulture class without being an apprenticeship. You can take up a course with the horticulture or the production horticulture at any time of the year. It'll be a matter of contacting the department. We've also got other courses that can be done in these trades, such as agriculture and wool classing. So if any of those courses are interested, you'd be able to look and see if you can undertake them as some of our free-tation initiatives. Finally, if you've got a passion for the environment and the natural bushland or waterways, you could also look at the conservation and environment courses that we offer. Our final trades we'll take a look at today are carpentry, plumbing and electrical. So it's back to Peter to discuss these popular trades.
Thanks, Matt. Carpentry is a popular trade, as Matt said, in the Bendigo region, and with the building boom we have experienced over the past few years, it's continued to offer good opportunities for potential candidates. Apprentices can be working on housing, renovations or large commercial builds, learning to undertake framework, formwork, finishing and general carpentry skills. Bendigo TAFE offers a Certificate 3 in Carpentry trade course at our Charleston Road campus for apprentices, and this trade generally takes 3 to 4 years to complete, combining your studies with the on-the-job training with your employer. Bendigo TAFE also offers higher level studies for tradies looking to become a supervisor or even run your own business. So check out the career pathways that are available. So if you enjoy building stuff, are reasonably fit and active, have good technical skills, like using your hands and power tools, and love to step back at the end of the day and see what you've achieved, then carpentry is probably the trade for you. Plumbing is more than just fixing leaky taps and toilets when things go wrong. In fact, the vast majority of plumbers actually do a lot more, including working on large commercial building sites and industrial and domestic jobs. Plumbing work can be performed under buildings, inside ceilings, and other confined spaces at times. Trench digging by shovel and machinery can also be part of the duties, especially if you're working with a smaller plumbing business. Again, you'll study the Certificate 3 in Plumbing course at Bendigo TAFE and gain your experience on the job with your employer. Our plumbing course covers all 6 areas: water, sanitation, drainage, mechanical services, roofing and gas services. And as plumbing is a licensed trade in Victoria, it requires the successful completion of your 4-year apprenticeship, and that's got to be with an approved employer in the trade, combined with a Certificate 3 in Plumbing Studies at Bendigo TAFE. Another 1 to 2 years of part-time study is offered after this to enable you to gain your plumbing trades licence, and that's conducted under the Certificate 4 in Plumbing and Services course. Electricians work in the electro-technology industry, and this is another licensed trade in Victoria. Therefore, it requires a successful completion again of a 4-year apprenticeship, and this with an improved employer in the trade. Again, you combine this with your studies at Bendigo TAFE. A further 1 to 2 years of part-time study is required to gain your electrical trades licence. Work can involve being outside, up on ladders, on roofs, or under buildings, depending on the job. Again, this is a popular trade locally, and there's normally a fair bit of competition for any apprenticeship jobs. To help you complete the Bendigo TAFE course successfully, it's recommended you complete at least Year 11 maths and science subjects while you're at secondary school to give you a solid base to successfully complete the theory-based training at TAFE. You can also access other pathways to get your maths and science levels up through TAFE as well. As well as more generalised building skills, electricians also employ elements of maths, design and mechanical skills in the work they do. Broad pathways are available to pursue, such as commercial, industrial, domestic and solar power installations, refrigeration and air conditioning, and electrical motor rewinding, just to name a few. So there's a couple of important takeaways up there for you to look at before we go today. So one of the main ones is research. So research the trade you're interested in and ask lots of questions. Seek good advice from your school's career teacher or from one of our qualified career advisors at the Bendigo TAFE Skills and Jobs Centre. Build your work experience in the trades at school, in your holidays or on weekends. However you can build your experience there is all beneficial. Consider undertaking a pre-apprenticeship course at Bendigo TAFE before you commit to an apprenticeship. Good communication skills, a great attitude and willingness to learn are highly valued by employers in the trades. Year 11 maths is highly regarded by many employers as well in the trades, and a current driver's licence, or if you've got your L's with a record of your hours of driving, is very beneficial to a lot of employers. So don't forget that if you have any questions for us, then please record them in the Q&A box. If you'd like to find out more about a particular course or career pathway, then you're welcome to contact the Bendigo TAFE Skills and Jobs Centre team on that phone number there, 1300 100 606, or you can phone our general phone number 13TAFE. So in the meantime, we're waiting to see if there's any questions that we need to answer. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us.
Peter, there was one question. So I've answered in text, but I'll also answer verbally. So the question was around the maths level for the diploma course. The diploma course is focused on a little bit more of the business side of running a construction or trade organisation. So you would need maths around the same as an apprenticeship. Around year 11, the maths that you'd be doing would be fairly based around business processes of the trade. So things like being able to work out percentages for markups, the costs of materials, the costs of consumers, being able to check those costs, apply GST, that'd be the sort of maths level that you'd need. But certainly they're not going into trigonometry or anything like that. It's everyday maths that you'd be looking at needing skills in.
Good on you, Matt. We just hang on for a minute to see if there's any other questions, but certainly any questions are good questions. So don't be afraid to ask it if you want to. So Matt, just while we're waiting, generally, what's the best way for people to apply for a course in the trades area?
So at the moment, if you're looking to go straight to an apprenticeship, you're in a great spot to go direct to a lot of employers. There's currently a lot of stimulus packages out in the marketplace, and employers are looking for apprentices pretty strongly at the moment. So going direct to some of the companies that you know would be one way to go. The other way to go, obviously, is, especially if you're younger or you haven't got the experience, is to undertake one of the pre-apprenticeship courses. It's an ideal time to do that. They're free, so there's no tuition payments required. They're run, at the start of the year. They don't take a whole year, and it really gives you those great skills to be able to start an apprenticeship. And what it says to an employer is that that's the trade you've learned in, you want to be there. It's not just something you've decided to go to on a whim. And then the other part is that it's also going to give you great skills to be able to go and work with an employer. Well, you're still going to have a lot to learn. You're going to be able to walk into that organisation and be safe. And safety is a huge part of the construction industry. Wherever you look, there is going to be a big focus on safety. So by doing the Cert 2, we focus on the safety, and that makes sure that you're walking into an employer or a job with a lot of skills. At the moment, I know there's lots of bricklayers looking for apprentices. There's carpenters. The plumbers and electricians are starting to come through. Concreters are starting to build up as well. So there's lots of trades looking to take apprentices at the moment. It'd be a great time if you're about to finish school and was looking for an apprenticeship.
Good on you, Matt. So if I was interested in a pre-apprenticeship course, what's the best way for me to apply for one of those? Because I don't need to have an employer before I start that, do I? So what's the best way to do that?
So there's a number of ways you can go about doing that. The easiest way, it's something that you could do now, is that you could get onto our website, so bendigotafe.edu.au, find your way to the construction and horticulture trades tab, go into the tab, find the course that you're after. So you, of course, want to do the best ones being construction. So you go and find the Cert 2 pre-apprenticeship in construction tab. Down the bottom of that tab, there'd be an apply now or a more information now button. If you tick on the apply now, it's going to ask you the questions. And then by the time you finish that, you've made an application, and we'll be back in contact with you to take you through the next steps. Really great, nice and simple. But then again, as you said, if there's anyone who's got any questions that we maybe haven't covered or they'd like to know more, they can certainly contact the Skills and Job Centre or the General TAFE line, so we can help you out.
Yep, that's good. Matt, I was just going to ask a question about fusion welding. Vince outlined that a bit. So is that using some of the new gear that we got down there in the engineering department?
So we've set up a virtual welding lab, if you like. So we've invested a number of $100,000 on virtual welding trainers. So these are trainers that you're going to be able to do lots and lots of practice on, which is exactly the same as doing the weld, except you don't have the heat, you don't have to have the metal to work to, and you'll be able to get an instant feedback on how that weld's gone. It will give you feedback on the penetration of the weld, the speed that you did it, the cleanliness, and all those sorts of things that our employers are looking for. And the beauty of it, you can just repeat this all day. And that's a big focus of the fusion welding. We'll teach you the theory behind the welding, and you'll get on to the virtual welders, do heaps of practice, and you'll be able to go and do your final sort of assessments on a welder, and you won't find any difference. You get the feedback that you would from a welder, you get the results from the computer straight away. It's a really fantastic way of learning to weld. And like the presentation said, there are lots of people looking for people in that sort of qualified welders, but may not be a full tradesman at the moment. And that's everywhere, right across the state, not just in the Bendigo region.
Yep, no, that's great. And look, I just one final point. I think if anyone is unsure about what they want to do or what their skill set is suited to, then I'd recommend, if you haven't got a careers teacher that you can talk to, it's if you're not at school. If you're not at school, you're quite welcome to contact us at the Skills and Job Centre, Bendigo TAFE. We've got qualified careers advisors who can help you with a plan there, just give you a few tips. It's free. If you don't want to use us, that's fine. You can only come once, or you can come back as many times as you need to until you sort it out. But I'd recommend it if you're still unsure what to do there. We even put people in touch with the trade sections of teachers and people like Matt to talk to, because they know the ins and outs of the course. They know the ins and outs of the industry as well. So there's plenty of people here to help for people who are unsure what they need to do.
And I guess the other benefit of the Skills and Job Centre, Peter, they can come in to talk to you if they're not exactly sure which trade may work for them. And that's what I really love that we have to offer that service to people, is think you might want to be a tradesperson and work outside, but you're not sure which one. People like Peter can spend some time with you and work your way through it, which is a fantastic offering we have from the Skills and Job Centre, and we promote it a lot. We often put to apprentices who may not be sure if carpentry is the right way to go for them, down to talk to the Skills and Job Centre, and we also utilise them for discussion and skills around interview techniques and things like that for when you are looking for an apprenticeship. So it's a fantastic service that we have on offer, and I certainly encourage lots of our students to go and use it.
That's a good point, Matt, because we're really keen to see all our students get the opportunity to get work. If they can't find their own, then we're quite happy to give you all the tips you need to help refine your job search, because most people have got a job search skill. It just might need a bit of tweaking here and there, and a few good tips and you're on your way.
And one of the parts that may not be obvious to people, even though it's the Bendigo TAFE Skills and Job Centre, we're not just going to talk about what Bendigo TAFE can do for you. We'll talk about what's right for you, be it, it might be a uni course that you need to do. It may be getting some different work experience. It's not just Bendigo TAFE that they discuss with. And again, I really like that. We have that service to offer to potential students, but anyone.
Yep, no, that's exactly right, Matt.
So there hasn't been any more questions, but I guess if anyone certainly does. So again, the numbers for the Skills and Job Centre, Peter, was
1300 100 606.
And there's of course the 13 TAFE number. So
that's yep, that one. If you can't remember ours, so either way you can connect with us or the trade sections to talk about your options there, or find out a little bit more about each course that you're interested in. Well, Matt, I think that might be it for us today. So I'd like to again thank the people that joined us today, and I'd like to thank my fellow guests there for their input.
We've got a question there. Sorry, Peter. What is the address of the Skills and Job Centre?
Well, it's currently Macrae Street entrance, so P building, but with the COVID restrictions operating at the moment, we're not quite there yet. We should be back in there hopefully in the near future. But if you just phone our 1300 100 606 number, we'll make an appointment with you. It'll be either a virtual appointment, a phone appointment. We'll work with whatever suits you to be able to talk to you. So at the moment, yeah, we're physically not in the building because of the COVID restrictions, but we certainly are talking to people online or on the phone throughout the day and giving them the same service that we normally do in the office.
So again, Peter, 1300 100 606.
606, yep.
It's also in the question and answer section as well.
Beautiful.
And we can also use the forms at the bottom of Open a Day, the courses. There's requests there where you can set up a one-to-one chat with the Skills or Job Centre or any particular area that you're interested in as well. We'd certainly be more than happy to talk to anyone.
Yeah, no, that's right. Now, generally, when we get an inquiry, one of our career consultants or advisors will contact you, talk to you and sort out an appointment to suit you, and then probably find out a little bit about your inquiry before we sit down together over the phone or virtually and give you that advice.
And I think that's answered all the questions. There's nothing else coming through. Probably close to time anyway, Vince, so you might better stop the recording.
Yeah.
And
I'll just wait until the 6th, which is about 20 seconds anyway. It'll be me and my luck. I'll get one more attendee.
Oh, we're cool.
All right, guys, I think we're all good to wrap up. So Vince, if you just click exit, that'll close and the recording will be able to start buffering.
You want to stop cloud recording? Yes.
No,
No.
just leave.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thanks for the help to Catherine. Take care.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Good.
See
Good
ya.
luck.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, Matt. Good on you. Thanks, Vince.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Pete. See ya. Bye.
Nice welcome. See ya.